Good evening and thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here today. I'm Whitney Ward. Well, the families of two black students at Sacagawea Middle School are now asking the district to publicly apologize and to remove the school's principal following a disturbing lesson in social studies. They
say after they went to the principal, he made the situation worse. Our Casey Decker joins us live from the school tonight. He spoke with an ACLU lawyer working with the family about exactly what happened. Casey?
Well, Mark, Whitney, in a social studies lesson apparently about the Industrial Revolution, the students say their teacher pulled out a box of raw cotton and told the class, let's see who can clean this the fastest. Now, the two students say they were the only black kids in that classroom at that time, and that being told to pick cotton was a humiliating experience.
They were surrounded by their classmates who were making comments like, man, it must have sucked to have been black. I could have never been a slave and picked cotton. This is garbage. I really would have hated to have been black.
Kendrick Washington, the ACLU lawyer working with the family, says they don't believe the other students meant to cause harm, but it's the teacher's responsibility to know better and to be more thoughtful about the weight these issues hold.
Slavery is not a game. This isn't a fun situation. It's not something that should be trivialized and handing out cotton and saying who can clean it the fastest. Like that's not what we want to teach. And it's not just detrimental to the young African-American women who are in the classroom, but it was really detrimental to all those students.
The girl's mother says she called the principal following the lesson, and at first he denied it even happened. Then the family says he called back later and actually made things even worse.
And his response to them was, well, if your daughters don't want to be around their white teacher, we can segregate them into another classroom.
The problem with that response was twofold. One, the students' problem was with the lesson, not the race of their teacher. And second, of course, the choice of words.
And to be so insensitive, to lack any form of couth and use the word segregation when discussing what to do with these two young black girls who were just cleaning cotton, it's just like something wasn't connecting in his brain that day.
The district sent us a statement, reading in part, quote, "We take all complaints very seriously and are committed to investigating them fully. There are conflicting reports to this incident. Once the third-party investigation is completed, we look forward to coming back to share the outcomes." Now, in response to all this, the family has a number of requests. First, they want the principal removed for his conduct. The ACLU says he's actually been accused of discriminatory behavior in the past, too. Second, they want a formal apology from the district. Third, they want the district to follow through on the commitments to anti-racism training they made in their equity resolution last year. And fourth, and most importantly, they say they want to make sure lessons like these are never taught again so that other students don't have to go through the same experience.
Now, in the meantime, the family has pulled those two students out of this school. They say that they hope when the district remedies this situation, they'll also help those students get back into the classroom without any sort of conflict or retribution. Reporting live at Sacagawea Middle School tonight, Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Casey, thank you very much. Now to our other top story tonight. The Whitman County prosecutor is charging 15 Washington State University fraternity members and former members in connection to the 2019 death of Sam Martinez.
So Martinez died of alcohol poisoning after drinking at an Alpha Tau Omega fraternity event. Our own Ian Smay is live in Whitman County tonight with more on what led to this charging decision today. Ian?
Whitman County Prosecutor Dennis Tracy is charging 15 members or former members of the Alpha Tau Omega fraternity in the death of Sam Martinez. Martinez died in 2019 after he was found unresponsive following a fraternity event. The Whitman County coroner found that Martinez died from alcohol poisoning. His family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the university and the fraternity, and the charge that those 15 people are facing is furnishing liquor to a minor, which is a gross misdemeanor in Washington. The maximum penalties, if they are found guilty, is a $5,000 fine and up to a year in jail. The charging decision comes after the Pullman Police Department finished their investigation after more than a year of work. The police department had suggested charges, some of which included those furnishing charges, against 7 people. The other charges that were included in that recommendation were hazing charges against 2 people, but the statute of limitations has run out on those charges. Pullman Police Chief Gary Jenkins told me earlier this year that the investigation took so long due to a large number of people being interviewed, having left Pullman due to breaks in the school year here at WSU, as well as problems accessing a cell phone for evidence. I spoke with Whitman County Prosecutor Dennis Tracy just before 4 o'clock today. He told me he can't speak to the facts of the case as it is ongoing. He did tell me that he doesn't feel like this does justice for Martinez or his family, but he's doing what he can. He also says that this is the most amount of charges being brought forward from a single drinking event since he became the prosecutor. He added that this could serve as a way to combat binge drinking at events. And today, the Martinez family has released a statement. It reads in part, "While the charges may lead to some level of accountability, this is not justice. It does not bring us closure. We are deeply disappointed that no one will face a charge of hazing in this case because the Pullman Police Department allowed the statute of limitations for that charge to expire." That's despite the fact that Pullman police found substantial evidence of hazing that would have supported hazing charges. The family also went on to say in that statement that they should start with making hazing a felony in Washington, not a misdemeanor, and extending the statute of limitations to ensure that hazing never goes unpunished again. Now, it's also important to note that the fraternity was suspended by both Washington State University and its national organization after Martinez's death. In Pullman, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
New at 5 tonight, we have just learned the climber killed on Mount Hood over the weekend on Sunday has been identified, and he is from Spokane. That climber was 64-year-old Michael Stretch. He was reportedly descending Mount Hood with his adult son on the popular Old Chute route when he fell 500 feet. Rescue crews responded, but when they reached him, they say he had already passed.
2 people have been arrested in connection with the death of a 20-year-old man on Memorial Day weekend in Coeur d'Alene. The victim, 20-year-old Gabriel Casper, was found unconscious lying on Coeur d'Alene Avenue on Monday. He was later pronounced dead at Kootenai Health. Police say one suspect, 19-year-old Matthew J. Holmberg, was arrested in Spokane Valley yesterday afternoon. And during that investigation in the valley, detectives say they learned the identity of a second suspect. 23-year-old Denon Fitterer Usher of Liberty Lake was also arrested today. Both suspects were booked into the Spokane County Jail and are now awaiting extradition to Idaho.
Well, you are looking at newly released body cam video from the Grant County Sheriff's Office. This shows deputies who were responding to that boat fire on Moses Lake that went viral in a TikTok video over the weekend.
We learned today that the people on the boat displaying a pride flag are not pressing charges against the boaters who they say were harassing them. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joins us live from Moses Lake tonight. Amanda, what charges would they have faced?
Well, the Grant County Sheriff's Office was able to contact the people on the boat with the pride flag, and had the family pressed charges, the Grant County Sheriff's Office would have cited the other boat for reckless operation of a boat, disorderly conduct, and malicious harassment. This TikTok video went viral overnight. It was taken by a group of people on a boat who were displaying a pride flag on Moses Lake. They claim they were harassed by a second boat that started circling them and doing hand gestures. The people who posted the video did not want to speak to us about what happened on the lake.
My first thought was hopefully that everybody had gotten off the vessel.
Grant County Sheriff Tom Jones says all they could gather from reports before ending the investigation is a boat started circling and doing hand gestures at the people with the pride flag. Then the boat doing the circling caught fire. He says one person suffered minor burns on their hands. 3 people swam over and boarded the boat with the pride flag for a short time. Sheriff Jones is impressed that the family helped these people despite their behavior toward them.
I think it was big league, so to speak, for the occupants of the other boat to put all the things that were happening to them aside and actually go in and rescue these folks from the burning boat.
This is body camera video of Grant County Sheriff's deputies who responded to the boat fire. They used their propellers to shoot water at the fire. Sheriff Jones says the boat exploded at one point, which caused it to burn so quickly. Deputies could not determine what exactly caused the fire. They assume it had something to do with the engine compartment or a fuel leak. But the people on the other boat believe it was karma.
We don't tolerate intolerance, and it doesn't matter who you are or what background you come from.
Now, Sheriff Jones hopes that this is the last time they see this type of behavior on the lake. He says looking ahead to the remaining summer months, deputies will be watching for aggressive boaters.
Reporting in Moses Lake tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, thank you very much. We are tracking some breaking news along the Columbia River Gorge tonight. A wildfire is burning several miles, 5 miles west of the Dalles, about 90 minutes east of Portland. Right now, there are level 3 evacuations in place. The Oregon State Police says some roads have been closed in that area, and there are also reports of downed power lines, which is complicating those firefighting efforts. Take a look right here. A burn ban went into effect in Wasco County yesterday. The 2020 wildfire season burned more than 1 million acres across Oregon. My goodness. Well, the heat advisory across the inland Northwest will not expire until tomorrow night, and we actually broken an 84-year-old heat record today.
It's amazing. Tom Sherry is in here now to let us know when we can expect to see some relief, but it sounds like it's going to get hotter before it gets cooler.
Well, it's going to stay hot. How about that? Probably won't be as hot tomorrow as what we saw today, but it's still in the 90s, and it's too hot, for this time of year. And then you show the video of the fire already happening down in Oregon, and it's just terrible. We've got to be so careful between now and Friday. Then it's going to get windy, by the way, by the time we get to the end of the week. I'll talk more about this in a moment. You take a look at this. You can see right now everywhere you see shaded in orange. That's where we're seeing the heat advisory in effect through tomorrow night. And of course, down in the lower Columbia Basin, including the Dalles area, we've got a fire weather watch in effect down there because of the incredibly dry conditions, low relative humidity, and excessive heat. Most temperatures now over 100 degrees down in the lower Columbia Basin. So we're talking about seeing the cooler weather developing by the time we get into the weekend. We'll finally see temperatures get down into the 70s, maybe even 60s as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Right now we're at 93, so that is a new record high temperature. Previous record high was 92. So far we're at 93. When you look at the satellite and radar picture, I wish I could show you some cloud cover or certainly some rain. That's what we would love to see, but that's not happening anywhere. 64 will be the overnight low tonight. I'm calling for a high tomorrow of 92, so pretty similar to the high temperature we saw today. And then for the weekend, we're down to 72 degrees on Saturday and 69 degrees expected on Sunday. Keep in mind, though, Friday and Saturday are going to be windy, so any fires that get started now need to be put out before that wind develops at the end of the week and the first part of the weekend. I'll have the rest of the 7-day forecast for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, looking forward to it, Tom. Thank you very much. Also happening today, the Spokane Public School Board is going to be voting on whether to build a city-proposed water tower on SPS land. The city has proposed 3 separate locations for those possible water towers. They are 31st and Napa, 37th Avenue, or by Hamblin Elementary. Right now, the city says, the Hamblin area is the most ideal location for the water tower. That meeting is taking place tonight at 5:30. All right, a very warm, sunny Wednesday for us. And as Tom said, we already have reached record temperatures. So how do you beat the heat with that kind of a temperature outside? Our Thomas Patrick is live with a few tips for you right after the break.